Marvel Rivals has 33 heroes at launch, and they're all entirely free to play, so figuring out who to main or which character to play first will be pretty difficult. Well, this video will help to remove that difficulty by explaining the playstyle for every single character, helping to find the perfect Marvel Rivals character for you. This won't go into the specific meta and nitty-gritty details, because if I did, this video would be 4 hours long, but I will focus on the overall experience you'll get from each character, and that will help you know which character is best for you in Marvel Rivals. To start with, it's best we understand the 3 different classes in the game: the tanks or vanguards, the DPS, the duelists, and the support or strategists. Tanks in Marvel Rivals offer a role for those who want to stay in the fight for longer and control the battle with their presence. You may not get the most kills and damage, but your abilities will define the flow of gameplay. DPS or duelists in Marvel Rivals allow you to cause as much destruction to the enemies as possible, racking up as much kills and damage as you can, whilst usually having some kind of cool movement, and it's often the most popular role in these kinds of games. Just remember, you will have very little health, and you'll need to be more cautious about how you engage in fights. And then there's supports, which are heroes focused on giving your team a helping hand, keeping them alive longer, or being the web that knits your team together. Many believe the support role to be less exciting, but just know that your efforts on support can help you win games, even if you may not be getting MVP every single match. Let's start with the duelists, the most popular class, before moving on to tanks and then supports. Starting with Black Panther. If you're a risk taker that likes to deal flashy plays in the face of death, Black Panther might be for you. He's hard to master and honestly a little undertuned, but he's still pretty awesome. You'll notice Black Panther doesn't have too many ranged attacks. Instead, he'll be able to leap back and forth to deal melee-based damage, with the occasional ranged attack from his spear toss. The kick to Black Panther's abilities is that he gets a damage boost when his health is below 100. Pair that with his Vibranium marks, which will let him recover health from attacked enemies. Black Panther has a very interesting playstyle that forces you to play with lower health than some may be comfortable with. Hawkeye is next. If you played Overwatch and liked Hanzo, you'll like Hawkeye. Or if you like being rewarded for good aim from afar, Hawkeye in Marvel Rivals may just be for you. You can charge up arrows with the bow, but interestingly, the longer you keep your aim on a target, the more damage it will deal, rewarding high-skilled tracking, which will require a lot of aim practice. Get a headshot with that charged-up attack, and you can expect plenty of one-shots on other duelists. Hawkeye also has a burst fire and a knockback ability, so there is a small amount of AoE and CC potential with Hawkeye. Next up is Hela. If you're looking for a duelist that has a strong primary attack that lets you focus on dealing damage without too many confusing abilities, Hela may be for you. Hela's main attack has a fast fire rate, really good range, and does great damage, but her damage ability really does require some level of aim skill, and get too close to enemies and your lack of good CC and low health will cause some issues for you. Iron Man is super strong and is always flying around. He's perfect for those that want to always be the playmaker. Besides a variety of long-range repulsor blasts, Iron Man has a super-powered ultimate called Invincible Pulse Cannon, which can make use of his freedom to fly through the air and obliterate any enemies caught in its path. Flying around can be fun, but just remember you're an easy target as you fly through the sky. Magic. If you're looking for a strong melee hero that can deal enough damage to take down entire teams, Magic is for you. Magic can dash very often, meaning she can quickly close the gap between her and enemies, which is important because all of her attacks are melee based, and doing more melee damage can make her gain bonus health. Magic also has a demon form, which has more powerful attacks and abilities, rewarding players that play aggressively with her and are always on the lookout to initiate a fight. Moon Knight is next. If you want a duelist with fun movement, Moon Knight may be for you. He has a grapple that flings him into the air and a night glider that lets him glide through the air. Moon Knight can also double jump. When it comes to damage dealing, Moon Knight has a focus on AoE, area of effect damage. His main attacks bounce off of enemies, and his ultimate deals large AoE damage, making him great at taking down the health of multiple players at once instead of focusing on single targets like a lot of other duelists. Namor. If you like to stack up tons of damage against enemies and rack up kills safely from the back line of your team, Namor will be perfect for you. Namor's main playstyle is focused on dealing decent persistent damage with his long-range spears that can hit fairly easily from a distance. As long as you keep far away from enemies, you'll be fine, but get up close and you'll be an easy target because of your low health and lack of good movement abilities. Psylocke. If you like a high-risk, high-reward playstyle that gives you opportunities to get up close to the action, Psylocke may be for you. Psylocke's main attack does more damage the closer you are, and successful hits will help recover your health and drop your ability cooldown, rewarding players who are aggressive and are able to have good aim in high-pressure situations. Psylocke also has a forward dash that can be used to close distance and even deal damage, and she can also enter stealth and get a movement speed boost, meaning she's really great for players who can master fast-paced movement and high-skill aim. Squirrel Girl hasn't been in the game yet, so I don't know how she'll fit in the Marvel Rivals meta, but she has a bunch of abilities that can ricochet around walls, which means you can get some cheeky trick shots off. I feel like she'll be that joke character that everybody underestimates, but can still pull off some pretty crazy plays. Spider-Man. If you want to play Spider-Man, then, well, Spider-Man is for you. Yeah, he really gives you that power trip of flinging through the map effortlessly. But actually, when you try him out, you realize it's not effortlessly. It takes a lot of practice to get good with Spider-Man's movement, and if you mess it up, you will get killed. Spider-Man also only does mostly melee damage with some close ranged web attacks thrown in, which means you will need to use good movement to get in, deal damage, and then get out. Yes, Spider-Man is a great hero, but he does require a lot of practice. Star-Lord. Star-Lord is a great choice if you're looking for a character that's fairly easy to use, but still has some fun movement mechanics. With Star-Lord, you get a dash and a forward speed boost, and Star-Lord's main attack works better the closer you are because it's kind of like a shotgun thing, so the best thing to do is to constantly use the movement abilities to dodge back and forth, dealing consistent damage. Storm is the perfect character for those that aren't sure if they want to play duelist or strategist. She can use an ability to switch up the weather, and doing so will give Storm and her teammates either damage boosts or movement boosts depending on what weather mode is active. Storm also has a really good ranged attack and awesome free-flowing mid-air movement, making her a great hero for those that get bored with their feet on the ground. The Punisher. If you just want to shoot guns and not really think about much else, Punisher is for you. To me, the Punisher is one of the easiest heroes in Marvel Rivals and a great starter choice, but that doesn't mean he's boring. He has 2 normal attacks, which you can switch between, a full auto gun and a shotgun. He also has a zipline, a mountable turret, a smoke grenade, and a missile launcher ability. He's all about shooting, and that makes him great for those that just want to shoot things and not think about much else. Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is the perfect hero for those that want to target specific enemies to delete them. He has a winch claw grappling hook that pulls in enemies, a powerful 2-shot pistol, and an ultimate that is like a massive grand slam that can be used over and over if you continue to kill players with it, as that will reset the cooldown. Now we move on to the vanguards, or the tanks, starting